Hello and welcome to UK Versus. We are once again joined by Zoe, aka the Goat, and fresh from his romantic weekend away with his partner, we have Richard Plummer.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome back, Zoe. How have you been since you were last on?
I have been loving life and enjoying cards. How about you?
Stressing over regionals, but apart from that, something Richard doesn't have to worry about.
Yeah, sadly, I can't make the regionals this week because I spent 40 money, shall I say, money in London this weekend on my anniversary weekend away. So
since when you were last on, we went over the current line of cards and all the details that went into the current product line, and you were very eager to come back once we had a bit more Attack on Titan. And we have seen a lot of Attack on Titan, as well as some really amazing things along the lines of chromes, obsidian, pearls. So the first question I have is, where would you like to start going over?
Well, I could show and tell. We actually have all the final product in. So I am sitting in front of the full product line, which is very exciting. I could start by showing you some of the packaging, or I do have the privilege of an exclusive card reveal for y'all today, which I know Richard is going to experience at the same time as everyone else. So we could start there. No, maybe we should start with packaging.
Yeah, we'll start with packaging, go over a little bit else. We'll make the people wait for the reveal.
Oh yeah, we're going to a teaser, and also I believe your lovely colleague Matt has posted in the Discord. So hopefully some people will join us. So we'll give them a little bit of time before we go for the reveal.
And on Twitter as well, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, I have all of the packaging, so if you like, I can just walk through some of the different pieces of this release and show you bits of them that I love.
Yeah, let's go for it.
So we were able to bring back the screen printed UVS on shrink, which is really nice to see. And this is our booster box, and I'm actually going to pop one open. I think the display for this with the Titan cutout is going to look great. I should have done this beforehand. There we go. So we got that lovely Titan head cutout, looking very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, we have 3 decks coming out alongside the booster. So we've got our 2 Clash decks, and then our wonderful window-fronted Challenger series. And the Challenger series is just like Godzilla. It's a foil board box with a window, so you can see the foiling on the character card through the package, which helps differentiate it from Clash. Clash are always going to be the solid front, and they're not going to have any foiling on the box. Whoop. The Clash decks themselves are going to be in both assorted and separate displays. So I think in local game stores, people are mostly going to see them in assorted displays side by side like this, which is really fun.
We've seen that with the Ochako and Toga things where we had like the pink and yellow and they're going down lines, and it's a really cool contrast.
Yeah, and I think the more we've gone through these products, we've now got used to the orange Universus bar, and I think it really does sort of stand out on these. Like, I think everyone should be now used to that, and that's the product, right? And so it's very sort of stand out in those sort of game stores, and you see the orange bar, you know what you're getting.
We definitely have found that because we're not as big as some of the other competitors in local game stores, sometimes we find our product kind of scattered throughout the store. Like maybe there's a Critical Role Challenger series over by D&D product. Maybe there's some playmats in one corner. So our hope with the orange is that it helps give wayfinding, so you can find where your Universus is, even if you're in a store that can't give us like a dedicated space yet. And even at mass, we're going to have mass hanging boosters for Attack on Titan. And I think these printed beautifully. So really happy with how these look. Certainly Girl Power has been doing quite nicely at mass. So maybe you will have seen some of these, but for Girl Power out in the wild.
I don't think we get those over in the UK here, because obviously they're more like Target, Walmart, right? And I don't think we...
Walmart, Hobby Lobby, I think they are US
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't actually know if there are any mass hanging boosters in the UK. So
yeah, I don't think there's like any of the card games that do like that sort of store thing, like with like a like a Walmart or a Target or anything. I don't think there's anything over in the UK like that. I think it's all LGSs. Probably the closest is sometimes you'll see like a Waterstones or something, like a bookstore have like a box of Magic or Yu-Gi-Oh or something. But yeah, we don't have that sort of mass stuff here.
Our Godzilla playmats have been doing quite well in bookstores. So I know there are some bookstores that buy in both playmats and for mass hanging boosters. But yeah, I wouldn't guess supermarket carries CCG mass hanging boosters in the UK, but yeah, not sure.
Some do. I know, like I've seen other games in Asda and stuff like that, but it's we don't really have like the superstores like you guys have with like the massive Walmarts and stuff.
I always get tired in the size of the store that we have in the States because I just am not used to that amount of, I don't know, visual stimulation, especially if you're trying to just get.
Yeah, I remember the first time I went over to the States as a kid and just kind of going into Walmart and it blew my mind.
While you've got let's go with the
last not least, not pre-released, is our pre-release package. We did have a small snafu on pre-release. That means we had intended the promo card to be inside the pre-release player's kit. So it does say on the back that there is one pre-release card inside the player kit. And that was not able to happen due to a last-minute issue. So the pre-release cards come in the store kit. So if anyone happens to go to a store and they get one of these kits and they don't get a promo, they just need to follow up and ask, because the promo cards do come to the store in the event kit. They're just not inside the player kit.
So for Gen Con, when the people go and take part in the Equals one, will they also get the promo?
I believe so, yes.
Very excited to see what comes from there.
I loved seeing all the photos of the players from the past, whatever it is, 18 years. Although I think that was a Brasco started tradition rather than Sabretooth. I'm not sure. The Buca de Pepe.
That's a Shane Duckworth question.
Yeah. But it was fun seeing five pulls.
So while you've got some product out in front of you, I do believe you've got a new way to show us how to open challenges.
Oh, yes. I was going to show you a booster pack, but let me get some scissors.
Ooh.
Because I had we were doing that. And don't worry, I'm not going to do the thing that some of my colleagues do not like to see and cut a booster pack. But I will show you the way, and I cannot take credit for the technique whatsoever. But our wonderful production manager, Megan, showed me how to open a Challenger Series box so that you can keep the packaging if that's how you want to keep it within your office without destroying it.
Ooh.
And as a packaging nerd, I loved to learn the technique. So as you'll probably know, bottom is certainly one way to open the box. You can, bite right into it. But at the top, we have these two little tape strips here and here. And if you take your scissors, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do this up in the air, but just run your scissors through that tape. So you've cut the tape on both sides. I should have done a Blue Peter, like here's one I did earlier, and I didn't do that. Then you can pop up the hang tab like this. And once the hang tab's popped up, you then are going to want to separate the two layers here. And that's some glue. Once you've separated, you've got the full hang tab like that. And then you can slide your contents out, go through your deck, open your collector's booster. And at the end, you're going to be able to fold this all the way back down and close the top. So that allows you to then have, at least for your shelf, a full closed box.
Awesome. I mean, Yeah, I mean, given when I ham-fistedly opened my Trigon one, I think I managed to damage my copy of Vash. So, yeah, having a way that doesn't destroy everything is probably good.
Yeah, I've been since Cowboy Bebop, I've been doing it the way you've just shown, but I've been using a cosplay scalpel that my partner uses. So like, the blades get dull very quickly, but they're still sharp enough to do. So I just like get a blade and go.
I definitely, if I had prepared slightly better, would have had my tiny sword prepared for exactly this. This is what I use. It's a really tough balance because we want the boxes to be secure enough that there's no concerns of theft, like people aren't in the store slipping the collector's boosters out. But I was really relieved to find this technique because I like to keep all my product so that I can refer to it even after I've gone through it. So I'm sorry to hear you damaged your copy. It's easy to do.
But that was me more being ham-fisted than the actual packaging.
We do have a request from Lenoco for you to use the scissors when opening the pack.
I will do it. Are we going to do this right now? We won't do this right now. But Lenoco gets to do box break parties with me internally, and I do often use scissors to open booster packs. So it is a shameful, not so secret.
Matt says,
there's a fight going in chat at the moment between Lenoco and Matt.
Gotta love that.
Well, you can let me know who wins because I can't read the chat and talk to you. I don't have that kind of
Matt's put it as an official request for marketing. Please don't. So I think we should just Matt that.
Must be respected. The question is, can I use the tiny sword then?
Or I think we can use the tiny sword. I think the tiny sword's fine.
Yeah,
that's more surgical.
I think it's designed for olives, but yes, much more surgical.
Matt says, of course, we can use the tiny sword. That's perfect.
The box I was hoping you would ask me to open is the pre-release kit, only because one of my deepest passions in life is zip pads like this that make a little rhythm.
You said that we could open a pack. You never said where that pack was coming from.
Oh, I like the way you're thinking. So yes, we can open one pre-release kit, and then we can open one of the packs within the pre-release kit. Deal.
Just keeping an eye on chat to see if I get in trouble for that suggestion, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
One time it's going to be me that's in trouble, not you. We'll see.
No, I've not seen anything coming up. I'm saying we risk it.
No one's saying no.
We got David Tomb saying open it. We got Matt laughing, and we got a Hitch saying that you make the rules. So let's go.
I make some rules, but not many rules. However, yes. Are we going to open this now?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Do it.
Let's get that satisfying bit.
To get ready to enjoy. Okay, I'm going to try and get really close so we can enjoy it. Satisfyingly.
We didn't get to hear it though. We didn't get that ASMR.
Did that work?
I got a little bit, but no.
Held it right by the microphone. The rhythm of that,
So Tom Berry, if we do pull a chrome, unless it's the one chrome that's been revealed, it has to be hidden.
So what's the technique here? I'm going to open this facing me.
Yeah. I think you should open it facing you, and then if it's a cheeky chrome that we haven't seen, unfortunately, it has to be kept away. Correct?
Okay. So I will do it up here, so we know there's
we'll wait for Matt to confirm the rules, but yeah.
All right. Should have used my scissors.
Use the tiny sword. No.
Okay.
Matt says if it's a chrome, you have the most insane look. So.
Oh, I guess the other thing we get to find out here, right, is how the layout of the boosters, whether there's a change since Gold Power in terms of where things sit in there.
We have the same thing with chromes that they can hit in every slot. So check your full pack because chromes do not have a determined slot.
I think Matt's going to clip you using the scissors there.
No. Yeah, I mean, let's go. I want to see the rest of this. So I think I'm just going to turn this around for you. We got Running Out of Time.
Ooh, a 2-diff.
Yeah.
I like that I get to see them before you. Saving Stab. I love the frame break on the art on this one.
That's really cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's one of the wonderful things about manga is like playing with frame is such a similar thing we do with playing with card frame. So in AOT, we get that double play of like the art frame and then the card frame.
But one of the things
and there's something like the artists quite often do in sorts of manga and comics, right? Is have them bleeding between sort of frames.
Yeah.
You can't catch me.
You can't catch me. I mean, this is an even stronger frame play. And yeah, I think that like some of these frames are from the manga, but a lot of them are actually frames that we've added so that we can do some of that drama. And I think Hitch, who I think already commented on this, was a big part of developing that visual style that I am
big shout
so
to
happy.
Big shout out to Hitch then, because while I've been doing like my shorts, I have seen like you've got some triangle frames with arms coming out that aren't in the manga and stuff. So it's really stylized. So although it's adapting the manga, you have made a lot of creative choices as well.
Yeah.
Chaos card. Rocky Alliance. Minoko just quickly scrambling to get these on the gallery.
Rocky Alliance is a lot of fun because it shows also the other reason why manga and comic books are so perfect for our game. Look at the action there.
It's so
like seeing the peak moment, because Isayama was drawing like the moment he wanted to show, not animating it and pulling a screenshot that was blurry.
Yeah, I've just kind of had to go through like trying to pick the exact frame that shows the exact thing you want to show.
Oh, wow, so good.
Yeah, just the Titans look really effing weird.
Urges.
Like, just in general, like, you know, that's just the art style, right? They just look really weird.
I think that makes them more emotive. They're like so destroying.
They're very alien. Like, they've almost got that kind of uncanny valley sort of thing where they're human-esque, but not quite.
Yeah.
All the souls can do. That's from the Utgard. Utgard's raid. Sasha! Woo! So
just base paper, not parallel foil, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for the Gen Con Sasha, which is literally life.
So the cool thing about parallel foils in Attack on Titan, which this doesn't show, and I'm not going to be able to pull Sasha quickly enough to show you, but have a look at what's foiled and what's not, because within our game, historically, we've like foiled a lot in the backgrounds and left characters plain without foil. And we were able to, for Attack on Titan, do the inverse for character parallel foils, where the characters are foiled and the backgrounds flat and matte.
Oh,
and I think it's just a really, it's different. We don't see that a lot in the game.
I get how
it's the character you want to see that pop, right?
The military police brigade. We haven't seen that one yet. That's really cool.
No, that's a new one.
Do you want a dramatic rules read?
Yes, please.
Flip 2 foundations. Okay.
The military police brigade. Form commit, flip 2 foundations, gain 3 health. If your character has the military police trait, draw 1 card. And then we got a little bit of flavor. The military police brigade, which exercises control over the king's subjects and maintains order.
That's so cool.
Sweet.
Oh, I love the stylized diagonal foiling as well, which feels very manga from the way that the manga is drawn as well.
In the rares, I think the texture of the Isayama style lines is really lovely.
It feels very grassy, foresty, like when they're out going on the missions. That's really cool.
Okay, we got another uncommon. Replay of that. I think this means I don't have a Chrome.
No. But they can show Wall Artillery. That is again, that's another example of why comics and manga work really well, because that's such a good action shot.
Yes, you're going to feel powerful when you put that down.
Because, I mean, no tea and shade at the other sets, but adapting a manga where the art style has to convey action within a page is perfect for card because we get to convey all that action in the card. Whereas when we're just getting screenshots or stylized cards like that, it's just a snippet of an action sequence.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they're just different mediums, right?
Yeah.
So we
learned a huge amount about the manga medium in this first set that we're definitely putting into play for future sets. But really cool. Exactly what Brett just described, an anime, you want to put a ton of motion blur and effects into the peak action, which then mean translating that into a card is really hard work, where this is a perfect example of he drew the peak motion. He didn't draw 2 frames before and 2 frames after.
Yeah, exactly. And then you've got that kind of very solid base work to sort of then put your own spin on in terms of, the colorization and, where you cut those frames and, stuff like that.
Yeah. And we talked about this in person, but the joy of being able to bring our resource symbols into the colorization, being able to bring what matters about our game into an IP for the first time is so exciting. And deck building is going to feel so different in AOT because if you're deck building against a symbol, you're going to have a deck that has a really strong color identity. I'm very excited for that.
Yeah, the hot pink for Chaos, I've always loved them. We have discussed in Discord how good some of these cards are. I mean, that's just gorgeous.
I am also Chaos vibe.
I absolutely love Chaos. So with Attack on Titan, we did get some brand new alt-art rarities as well.
We did.
We got Obsidian and Pearl. Which one would you like to start with?
Can we start with Pearl, but can we talk about Ultra Rares first?
Yeah, sure. We can talk about Ultra Rares and we can show the... Well, we can put the card... I can put the card on and we can talk about... Would you like me to put the card on, then talk about the Ultras? Or talk about the Ultras, then reveal the Pearls?
Let's put the card on, talk about the Ultra Rare, and then reveal the Pearl. Because actually, it's almost as though I prepared that pack, although I did not, in that it had rares.
We grabbed the non-Pearl version, but yeah.
Okay. I've got it physically right here, so we can just look at it physical if that's tricky.
Yeah, it's all good. Luckily, because I've been making those shorts, I've got loads.
So we talked a little bit as we were opening the pack about that framing. So we really think about our commons, uncommons, and rares as panels of manga and playing with that framing of a single panel, showing a single moment. So the majority of your pack is going to be panels, which is similar to your experience of reading manga. We're flipping cards, but you're flipping from panel to panel.
Yeah.
What is cool about this set is as you go up in rarity, we've gone up in the amount of manga we're showing you. So when you get to Ultra Rares, for the first time, you're looking at not just a panel, you're looking at a page. So I think this is the Ultra Rare we were going to look at, so as not to further reveal anything else. And what you'll see is not only do we have a big, colorful character, but in the background, you will see a full page underprinted. So this is celebrating the fact that in manga, you get the composition of the panel, the action, that moment, but you also get the layout and the enjoyment of the context of a full manga page. So Ultra Rares are pages. They are more than a panel. They're more important in the game. They're more important when you pull one. They also have a more vibrant color palette. And I think this is a beautiful example. We've kept going with the tradition of having the grayscale line art only in the frame. But with Attack on Titan, that's a little punchier because the line art is punchy and black. So you're getting a little bit more contrast in those frames, which feels really good.
Oh, it definitely.
Yeah, and again, we've still got the sort of blue colorization, right, for it being the air symbol card. Yeah.
But where the characters are more traditionally sort of cel-shaded to realism within the base cards, we're getting that more vibrant, dynamic palette in the Ultra Rares, which is a lot of fun. And then as we thought about how we could bring an alternate treatment to Ultra Rares, we looked at the manga. What can we celebrate about the manga? And our experience of manga And in fact, I'm not going to go get the manga off my bookshelf because that would be unnecessary. But our experience of manga, at least for those of us that started there, it's a black and white experience. It's high contrast. So our ultra rares celebrate pages. And we then did the Pearl version where we celebrate a page by pushing that into a pale foil. So it is a pearl foil with just white and black ink, and we've gone totally monochrome. So when you see one of these glinting out the side of your pack as you're pulling it or in your hand, it feels so different because we got so much color in the rest of the set, and this is more like a manga. Pearly.
Yeah, exactly. It's almost like it's literally you've cut it out from the book and stuck it on a Universus background. I guess that's the sort of aim you're going for from this.
Yeah, and we wanted that to be the most precious in the set, not the cheapest. So we could have done like black and white for the base set and just colorized the top. But I think the fact that we are able to cherish the black and white and have that be something scarce and precious is really fun. However, the background is like a full page because obviously this composition of foreground character and background doesn't exist in the manga. This is a UVS Games layer. This particular
like the shot everyone can see on screen, like the digital version, definitely does not do them justice when you see them in person. Like you can sort of make out from the camera there, it was very shown, but they certainly look a lot better in person than the digital versions.
Yeah, it's both the joy and the bane of foil that they're designed for real life, and it's hard to ever do them justice.
Yeah,
through a camera. I mean, but this was a new print process to figure out, and I am really happy with that end result. I think excited to see people get their hands on them.
I mean, yeah, we got to briefly experience them at the summit, and they look really, really cool. It does feel like you're holding a manga page in your hand that you get to play with, and that's so cool.
I guess everyone's not going to be unhappy if I didn't ask the question, and you might not know, but because I don't know if they've said, but like, what are the pull rates of like the pearls, and I guess obsidians as well?
I'll not tell you any numbers, both because I might get them wrong. I can tell you about pictures all day long, but also yes. I both might get it wrong and should not tell it, even if I was sure of it. You just got to open some packs and figure it out.
Okay.
I do know that the UR alts, the pearls, are not for every ultra rare. So it's only a select group of them. And that was by design. So it's not a flat rarity. If there is an ultra rare, it does not mean there's a pearl version of it.
And pearls are exclusive to ultra rares. You're not going to find pearl characters, pearl commons, pearl uncommons.
No, the exception would be in the Challenger series. So in the Challenger series, we do have a pearl variant of the rares. And that was for that collector's foil booster. Ooh, so the one place you're going to be able to pull a pearl treatment that is not in the booster set, that is not an ultra rare, is our Challenger series.
That's very exclusive news. I don't think that was made public.
Okay, so you're going to open that pack and see if you get one, right?
Matt, do we have permission to open the collector's pack and see what's in there? While we wait for Matt to quickly decide that, then we have the secret rares, which got a similar treatment but a little bit different. Oh, nope, never mind. Matt says go.
Matt says go on this one?
Yeah, Matt says go on this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Give me 1 second so I can increase your camera size again before you pop off.
Okay.
Because we're very excited again.
Yeah, exclusives here on UK Versus.
I mean, the exclusives are keeping coming. You wait till you see what we're about to show in a minute.
I'm not going to get rid of the frame this time, but yeah.
The collector's booster, I actually love this bronzy tone on the foil. I know nobody cares about the packs themselves, but I'm really happy with how this one turned out. Great work to Matt on the creative team for this gorgeous package design. Okay. We know we're not going to pull a chrome. Am I supposed to look at these myself first?
I do not know.
I mean, I guess if there's all art characters that maybe haven't been shown, things like that,
We've got Raw. Very cool, Zero Diff.
Beautiful parallel foil of Raw.
Outstanding.
Down time.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to.
Oh, there looks like something shiny at the back there.
I'm trying to get
See,
rid
that's
of it.
exactly what I'm talking about. That's a freaking pearl on the edge.
Hey!
Yes. That happened organically.
Okay, give me 1 second before you show the pearl so I can get rid of the border that's around you and then everyone can fully see it.
The best bit is, this is exactly what we're talking about. This is a pearl rare.
Yeah. Thank you, Matt.
Almost like we set this up. Let's go. Matt.
Okay.
So, driven aerial slash.
And
then.
Let's go.
Titan armbar.
Titan armbar. That is so cool.
And you can see the difference, it being like obviously the rare version where it doesn't have quite the full art, but it's still that pearl version.
Yeah. So this is a different interpretation on pearl. It's still using that pale foil and the fully monochrome card frame. But because it's only a rare, we didn't want to give it the full art bling that we were giving the pearl ultra rares. So that worked out very nicely. And this is exactly what I was talking about.
Yeah,
awesome.
That worked out really, really well. Thank you to Matt for letting us pull that off.
Okay, and then we had 2 more parallel foils in there.
Oh.
Love the eye on this one. It's got a real gleam. Sweet.
Awesome.
And of course, our Challenger series also always have that lovely booklet.
With everything that's going to be in there.
With your little checklist. If you have your collector's lizard brain like me, you can go through and check off all your copies. And we have the altar.
Matt's saying it's almost like we planned these portraits.
I know.
I really like the addition of the booklet and having all the what you can get and what all the alt arts look like and everything in there. Like, I think it was really cool.
Very good way to sell as well to other people. You can go, here's a booklet, look what you can get in it.
Yeah, it does give you a chance to read through and think about it. This is my favorite page of the booklets, is all of the extras you can get. But I love these.
So, David, you might have missed it just as we were talking, but Platinum Obsidian are not Challenger only. The Ultra Rares for the main set are Pearl only, but the rares in the Challenger are also available for Pearl treatment. And for Obsidian, I believe that's limited to Secret Rares?
Yes. So Obsidian as a treatment is only the Secret Rare ults. And Obsidian, I think actually, it's probably okay to say, but we were heavily inspired by some of the stuff that Duel Masters does in the Obsidian space. I didn't know if it was maybe a mistake to show another game's card, but there are some beautiful examples of black on black within CCGs, and we looked at them all and tried to figure out what would feel good for Universus and for this medium, really celebrating that black ink in the most beautiful way we could for the Secret Rares. I do not have my pile of Secret Rares, so I'm not going to hold one up, but I think you have some on your end. Is that right?
Yeah, I put the Secret Rare up, and then I've just gone over to the Obsidian, and when you were talking about the full manga page being for the Ultra Rares, the Secret Rares are posters. If I remember correctly.
And I just pulled one, but it's accidentally AOT2, so I'm not going to show you that. But,
that'll be a spoiler too far.
That's too far. I'm not going to do it. So yes, we've got the full page for the Ultra Rares, and then how do you pull up one step further for Secret Rares? It is with this editorial take. So one of the really cool things that the creative team working with our licensor was able to do was get official translations of our card titles into Japanese. So on the Secret Rares, you're going to see a layout with some paper textures, some ink splatters, some celebration of that medium, but you're also going to see the official Japanese translation, blessed by Kodansha, of our card titles, laid out with the artwork. So those posters in the secret rares, we've then translated into Obsidian for those secret rare alts. And Obsidian is a new process for us with a black on black foil and a black gloss varnish. So they are super shiny. They feel really good to touch, and they are very dark. I know you both got to get hands-on with some in Vegas. They are very special cards.
Yeah,
and the art
again, the stuff you can see on screen here just sort of, again, doesn't really do it justice. Like, that's sort of roughly what the art looks like, what we can see on screen here, but yeah, they look a lot different when you see the real version with the foiling and everything.
Yeah, and different to the pearls, the obsidians are essentially an expansion of the image without the poster from the SRs. It's more just a full image, which is probably going to make these very desirable. If you're not a fan of the poster, go for the full art.
Yeah. And that's exactly right. The poster has the art framed up with that big Japanese lettering, similar to how we'd put kanji on secret rare alts in the past with my hero. Then for those secret rare alts, you're right, we're zooming right into that piece of artwork, letting it take over the card, and then boosting it with some of that beautiful black varnish. They are not the easiest to read.
No.
So I anticipate some people saying they are not particularly playable. However, they are a celebration of black ink in a way that is very exciting. And if you know what the card is, maybe it's okay that you have to look twice.
Maybe have another copy to one side for the people who haven't got the best vision.
Not necessarily the easiest for the secret rare, but yeah, I mean, I think when it comes to sort of alt arts and alternate treatments and like the specialty things, I think there is that bit more of a license to go ham, right? Because they are they almost then become more collector's pieces rather than game pieces to an extent. Obviously, they're still very usable. Like, you can still sleeve them up and play them, but you know, they're almost then coming into that realm of collector pieces and just nice things to own rather than necessarily full on just sort of game pieces because I like the text on the card and what it does.
Yeah. I think someone could certainly make a very beautiful frame of just pearl and obsidian that would all be monochrome. So yeah, I hope they are collector's pieces, and I hope they are also still functional if people do want to play with them. But if you're looking for the easiest to read, most accessible, you're going to go with the base secret rare.
We'd have to go down the Levi line to see if these are very playable, as he's now playing it up and down Texas at the minute.
Yes, in his RV.
So one last thing before we do go on to the very, very cool reveal is that something you guys worked very hard on for Attack on Titan was the chromes, and something very exclusive that, well, as far as I'm aware, it hasn't been done before in the game or by the Attack on Titan author themselves.
Yes. So one of the huge privileges of getting to work on this set with Kodansha is getting to celebrate the artwork of Isayama, who is incredibly talented, but also such a cool role model for anyone who's into anything creative, because he began as a student and he's just had this incredible career arc where with sort of every piece of art he puts out, he gets better and better and better. And unlike maybe some other games' interpretations of Attack on Titan that are telling the story but not using art by Isayama, we are able to put the actual art of Isayama on this. So as we started product development, we talked through, you know, what would be the coolest way to get some of that connection to the author through. And one way, and in fact, I'm going to show the pre-release. In fact, has the pre-release card been revealed yet?
Yes,
I think the name of it, certainly.
The one with the really cool flowing punch from Attack Titan,
Attack Titan's destructive power.
That's the one.
Well, I'm not going to hold it up, but this card is a great example that we've been able to feature some of his other styles, some of his magazine artwork styles, and the pre-release card is a wonderful example of that. But we were able to work with him to secure 6 original signatures that are going to go on the chromes for Battle for Humanity. And His signature is incredible. He does his signature in Sumi ink, and it includes this beautiful chibi Mikasa. So each of the 6 chromes has a unique signature on it, hand brushed by him for the game. And those are going to be foil stamped in gold onto each chrome. I am not going to say anything else because I want to make sure I stay on message with Matt.
I mean, I've got the Eren Yeager one on screen, and the Chibi Mikasa is just so very cute.
Yes. Obviously, signatures exist in CCGs all the time. Most often, I see voice actor signatures. I think one of the things that is so beautiful about this, Isayama does not sign a lot. It is very uncommon for him to put his stamp of approval on it, and we have huge privilege that that's the case. But also, the signature itself is a piece of art by the person who birthed this story, who has tied it so closely to his identity that Mikasa's part of the way he signs products. So
I do forget the name. I do forget the name that you mentioned last time. But how hard did the Japanese operative have to work to get this organized?
Very, very hard. We are really lucky that we do have a teammate in Japan, Yutaka, who helps us both with translation, but he also does meeting with licensors, and it took a lot of time, effort, and love to get to this place. It's one of the wonderful things about working with Kodansha as a licensor is the editorial board for Attack on Titan is Kodansha. So we have just much closer contact to the people who brought this to life than we do in some of our other licensing relationships.
Yeah, it's like, I guess, like when you're working with things like My Hero or whatever, like they're sort of almost several layers from the sort of source, as it were. And whether it's like the voice artist, but it's like the English or the Japanese one, whereas with this, it's like, no, that's like the very source of where Attack on Titan comes from. Everything else, like whether that's TV show, merchandise, whatever, no, it all leads back to the artist. So that's being able to get to work directly with him, like that's the most obvious thing.
Yeah. So the anime had to go through the same process we do, because the anime is telling that original source story, and Universus is telling that original source story. So yes, that's a very special thing to get to be a part of.
Yeah, and again, obviously we sort of briefly touched on this sort of earlier, but the sort of difference with working with the manga rather than animation, and obviously all the things that go along with that. But part of that is having that relationship, obviously, with Kodansha, and I guess the opportunities going forward of what other manga or more sort of just illustrative rather than animated IPs could there be in the future, and the stuff you can then do with that, and being able to be put more stuff. But obviously, that's for our speculation and
I mean, Kodansha has a huge website that has their entire library on there, which does feature Fairy Tail, which has just started its 100-year arc.
I will make no official comment on the wonderful story, Fairy Tail, because that would be a mistake. But yeah, I think that Godzilla is actually our first product that featured comic book art in recent history. And I think we learned with Godzilla, and we reaffirmed our learning with Attack on Titan, that artwork designed to print is so much richer a source material than artwork that was designed to move. And our game is so much more like flipping the pages in a book than it is like watching something on TV. So I am very invested in us continuing to find ways to bring storytelling design for print into the game. It will not be the only type of storytelling we bring in. But I think Attack on Titan really showed us the possibilities.
And I think it will certainly be interesting as we get more Attack on Titan booster sets. Obviously, we've got the second set coming out, and obviously then seeing sort of Ineas's kind of artwork grow through the booster sets as well. You know, hopefully, in theory, who knows? You might get more past 2. Which we only got 2 so far, but you know, there's obviously a lot more of that manga arc to go through. Should Universus choose to. And you know, you can then see that artwork, you know, his artwork grow through the cards as well.
I don't know if anyone else has read it, but one additional manga chapter was released in Japanese this year. It has not yet been released in English, but I have to read this using my Translate app on my phone, holding it over there. The difference in the artwork that Isayama is doing now still has all of that wonderful energy and the crosshatch lines, but it is so much cleaner. Yeah, just an incredible narrative arc.
Ooh. Right, so we've been going 50 minutes. I think we've teased everyone enough now. Richard, have you got the stream up?
I do, yes.
So this ties into what some people were picking up on Discord as well, is we haven't seen any 500s yet for Attack on Titan. But who would be if we're going to do 500s, well, let's start off with the Beast Titan. Would you like to do us a dramatic read, Zoe?
Yes. Beast Titan.
Yeah.
Response. After your first attack, this turn resolves. Build it face down. If it has shift, build it transformed instead. Response. After a Titan backup enters or leaves your stage, draw 1 card.
Okay.
But not really. As you've got a shift attack, you're not really a 5-hander, you're a 6-hander.
Yes, sort of. Yeah. And I think the other important thing to note, as I'm seeing here, is that this is obviously at least one of the secret rare characters, right? I can't remember whether it was how many there were.
Yeah,
whether there was 1 or 2.
So we don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is our first 5-hander. Sort of a pseudo 6-hander. Obviously wants to work with backups, right? It's one of the backup characters, wants to play with the Titans, and yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it looks really good. My head immediately went to the Attack Titan, which basically you play it on an 8, you build it down, you play it again on a 5, because that's what it does in its form.
And he is very hairy.
He is very, very hairy. He's a very fluffy boy.
I don't know if he's hairy, a Beast Titan or Bearded Titan. One of the two.
I think the Bearded Titan has a better beard, but the Beast Titan is hairier overall. And then Matt and Zoe were very good enough to let us also get a look at the alternate art versions.
I was trying to look for my magnifying glass. Here it is. So one of the really lovely things about character alt art is we are keeping up with the tradition started with Godzilla of putting a reticulated varnish into the backgrounds of our character alt arts. And I think Beast Titan is an absolutely beautiful example of that. So this is the Beast Titan character alt. And I'm going to see if I can get my magnifying glass working on the varnish.
Okay, yeah. You can... They look like completely different pieces of artwork, like compared to what you can see sort of on the screen there.
Yeah, so the image of this is a beautiful painted piece from a magazine that Isayama had done, so not within the original manga. So stylistically very different. And then what we've layered on top puts a high gloss over the characters, and then this wonderful reticulated pattern that Aaron from the creative team did a fantastic job on. And the way that the reticulated varnish catches the light on this, I think is really special. It's very hard to show you over video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just trust us, it looks amazing in person.
So we got base secret rare character here and secret rare alt.
Mm-hmm.
And will this be one of the base form? Will it be one of the parallel folds you were talking about before, where the character is more foiled than the background?
Yes, I don't have the I don't have the parallel foil to hand of Beast Titan. Let me see if I have a different one nearby. So if we look at, in fact, here's Sasha, who we looked at earlier. So this is a parallel foil for Sasha. So you will see, unlike previous parallel foils where potentially the background would have been foiled and she would have been flat, we've got all the foil showing up in the kanji and in the character art, which is really cool. So yeah, the parallel foil version of Beast has the same, where he's going to be foiled and the background is going to be flat. And we've managed to get a nice black here that is a good match for the black in the background of our base cards. So that hopefully just all melts away in the table and the foiled characters stand out.
I've just put a cheeky little poll up to see if people prefer the alt art to the regular. See what people in chat.
Yeah, because they're very, very different art styles, right?
They are.
They really are.
Like you're saying, you can definitely tell that the base one is a manga panel, and then this is more of a magazine art, like centerpiece, or even just full on cover.
Yeah, and I think that's good. Like, it's not just, it's the same sort of card, but just shinier. Like, it's completely different. It's completely altered. It's completely different treatment.
Yeah. It's not like what we, as you're saying, with the SRs we've had in the past, where they get the kanji treatment when they go into their alts or visions, or with Girl Power, you got a little bit different art. It was more zoomed in. It was more concentrated. This is just a completely different card.
Big and bold. And just to make your TikTok career slightly easier, I just put a screenshot of the page from our wonderful colorist in Discord for you.
Perfect. We'll make it I'm not doing any more till after regionals now, but I know I'm going to have a lot to do.
I actually love the page that Beast came from, so getting to see the full body style is kind of cool. Volume 11, in case anyone is curious.
It's been really interesting doing my shorts and getting to see all the arts, and there's been some really cool choices you guys made, where it's like you're saying, some of the commons are just not even a full a panel of a page. It's like just one corner of one part of one panel. It's like, I've got to look so carefully.
I don't think anyone anticipated people hunting out where the art actually came from. So it's an amazing thing that this is a treasure hunt in reverse, because we obviously went through the treasure hunt to find the right thing to show, and now it's going the other way. So yeah, I'm glad you're having fun with that too.
Once I heard it was the manga, my head just had this idea and I ran with it, and now I've committed to this whole thing.
Yeah.
It gets us a moment to show that this isn't just wallpapered IP, that we're putting a lot of love and effort into finding the best possible art to tell the story of the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It is the manga art. Obviously, each piece you've done your own kind of, colorization, tweaks, whatever, to sort of make them fit and make a Universus card out of them, right? So,
yeah.
So the big question left is, who are you going to be playing from Attack on Titan?
We actually just had a version of this, and I don't think I can say the booster set. So, who am I going to be playing from
Attack on Titan 1?
Who am I going to be playing from Battle for Humanity? I think Big Mouth Titan, just for the Chaos vibes. But I'll have to give that a bit more thought over the next, 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want a nice magenta deck.
Look, thanks to Attune, you can play any Chaos character and have a nice magenta deck.
Very true.
That adds a whole new level of I need to find a character whose Attune cards complement each other, so I can have a really stylized
deck building. Not engaging deck building just for color. That's how creative teams work.
Exactly. I need to get my summer colors going so it matches my outfit.
And maybe some accessories. Maybe some nice playmats too.
Yeah, get some nice hot pink. Get a playmat that matches one Attune symbol and some sleeves that match the other. Yeah.
No, I'm really in it for a nice monochrome pearl obsidian chrome frame up. Also, I've never pulled a chrome. Almost everyone else at work has at least done it once. So I'm hoping the luck is with me for Battle for Humanity and I pull one for myself.
You just need to bring Richard's local Harry in. He's pulled a chrome in every single product.
Oh, yeah. Harry locally is ridiculous. I think he's pulled 3.5 chromes.
And he pulled a Ghidorah alt art?
And he pulled a Ghidorah, yeah.
Wow.
I say 3.5 because he basically shared a box with someone and there was a chrome in that. But yeah, he's nuts.
Wow.
He's got some insane look, yeah.
My granny used to play cards with me, and every time I would lose, she would say, "Don't worry, you're going to be lucky in love." So I don't know if this person is lucky in love, but they're lucky in cards, which means I get to be lucky in love.
That's a great way to look at it. If you're not lucky in this aspect, there's something else in your life you've probably got a bit more luck into.
I wish life worked like that. Anything else I can share with y'all before going back to working on things we can't talk about?
Mm-hmm.
I can't wait to talk about.
Forget to turn the camera off. You get to see.
When I released my Star Trek theory video, I was half expecting to get a little bit of trouble. I put a lot of work into trying to track down who I think the alt arts, the alternate version of the characters are going to be. But I know you cannot talk about that.
Come back on Star Trek.
Oh, definitely.
But for people who are going to Gen Con, I do think we're going to have a little bit of Star Trek Star Realms, which is not Universus, but a really fun game that we are releasing in partnership with Wise Wizards. And I think there's going to be a small number of copies at Gen Con for people who are interested in other cool UVS games.
And for UVS people who are going to Gen Con, is there any cool events going on for the people there?
There almost certainly are, but that is something Lenoko and Matt should answer in the chat. I sadly can't be at Gen Con this year, but I will be at PAX West.
Ooh.
Fun, because it's in my neck of the woods.
They have got the cool Gen Con promos, which...
the Gen Con promos
I did not get a picture of it, which makes me sad. But they are the alternate colour scheme to their counterparts in the main set. So for Sasha, who has blue for air, has the green life in Gen Con, and look like I have tapped my friend who's going to Gen Con to pick me up a couple.
Of course. Good. But yeah, I can confirm Star Realms is a fun game. I haven't played the Star Trek one, but I think it's pretty much the same from what we saw at the summit. But yeah, Star Realms is quite a fun little sort of card game in the sort of, I guess, board game arena rather than as a standalone thing. But
the poll has ended, and the 78% of people prefer the alt art.
If it was the other way around, I'd feel nervous.
I mean, either way, they both look really good, just for different reasons. I mean, personally, I prefer the regular art. I don't know why. It's more, I feel him staring into my soul. Yeah. It's just the tiny little, deaf eyes staring at me.
I think the styling on the base character cards in this set are so fun. They're higher impact than anything we've had before in the character realm. So I get it. I might choose a base character so that I could put this into my binder.
Ooh, yeah. Get a nice frame for all your alt arts, obsidian and pearls, and just have that lovely monochrome framing around the alt art characters.
Yeah.
Did you have any?
All right,
questions?
I'm 1 minute late to the next thing, so I need to very quickly say goodbye to you all.
No problem.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining us. It's been awesome having you as always, Gary.
Lovely to see you.
More than welcome back anytime, Zoe. Feel free.
Star Trek. Bye.
Bye. Right, quickly, just gonna mess about the cameras because we'll probably wrap up here. But Richard has got one other thing he would like to talk about as usual.
Yeah. Obviously everyone in chat, thank you for joining us. That was awesome. And obviously thanks to Zoe and UVS Games for giving us the getting us to show some cards off and talk about some of the art design here.
Huge shout out to Lenoco for being here, for Levi for everything he's doing in Texas at the minute, to Matt and Zoe for letting us do this, reaching out to us so we can get everything sorted out, and for these amazing reveals.
And shout out to Hitch for manually removing half-tone dots for 7 hours.
Just huge shout out to Hitch for everything they're doing, especially the fact they're watching Madam Web at the minute in 20-minute increments because they can't handle anymore.
Fair.
I shouldn't have got Twitter. I shouldn't have got Twitter.
No, you shouldn't. It's a terrible idea. I used to only use it for fantasy football, but yeah, obviously, yeah. Everyone in chat, thank you very much for joining us, and obviously, yeah, thanks to UVS Games. And obviously, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you very much for watching. Click the like, subscribe, comment, do all that sort of nonsense. We love it.
Before we do shoot off, Richard, what game were you playing this week?
Oh yeah, as our usual sign off, we have my board game of the week, which was Paladins of the West Kingdom. So this is a Shem Phillips game. I don't know if he does a lot of different games. They tend to be in like 3-game series. So he does a of the West Kingdom series. There's Paladins and Architects and another one that I can't remember. And then there's like the South Tigris series and of the North Sea series. So this is so he has a lot of the same mechanics through like the series of games, but Paladins is like a worker placement that you're sort of trying to build a tableau and trying to score points in various areas. It was pretty interesting. I didn't necessarily play very well at it, but so you're trying to get like various different colours of workers and use those to do things on your own personal board, and then you're fighting over with like your opponents of stuff in the centre board. And it's like a bit of like almost like an area control type thing. There's like a push your luck with like a corruption style mechanic of do the powerful things but get these sort of corruption cards and maybe get punished for it. But yeah, really, really, really solid sort of worker placement Euro game. And yeah, Shem Phillips, sort of like all of his games are really good. Like I've enjoyed pretty much every one of his ones I've played. I believe they're him. But yeah, the Shem Phillips games are a really good series to get into if you like sort of your standard Euro game worker placement style ones. And Paladin certainly is probably like possibly the best of his I've played. I really, really enjoy not Scholars. Wayfarers the South Tigris is probably my favourite, but this is definitely would be my second. Yeah, definitely a game worth checking out. Like I say, if you like this sort of Euro style games.
Yeah, you definitely.
Yeah, so that's what I played this Monday.
Yeah, and as we sign off, again, Lenoco did very quickly hit me up with the Gen Con promos, which look very, very cool. Thanks everyone for being here. Again, thanks to UVS for letting Zoe come on. Hopefully we can get more people on in the future. And I'll let Richard very quickly just do... you will be seeing me, but not Richard, unfortunately, Lenoco. But I'll let Richard do another YouTube sign-off, and then we'll head on.
Yeah, so yeah, if you're watching on YouTube, do all the things. They're really helpful. Like, comment, subscribe, keep the channel going. Helps get our stuff out to more people. So, and thanks for watching. And we will catch you all on the next one.
We'll catch you all next time. Thanks for being here. Bye.